All right, what is going on, guys? So we are back, and today I'm gonna try to clean up the 240 here. So there's not a whole lot to do. I just need to make it a little nicer looking. That's my only real goal. Just clean up this stuff, clean up this guy, clean up this guy, clean up the intake here, try to cut the hood, make it all fit. I just pulled off this this window deal, and it's pretty bad. Don't need that. Don't need this guy. Probably put the other trunk on, the wingless trunk, maybe get a little black paint, get that guy painted black, and figure out the wheel situation, clean the interior, and really not a whole crazy amount of stuff. I'm not gonna go crazy on this car. Just gonna do a little refresher, go drive it, make sure it's not leaking fluids, make sure it drives well, make sure it handles well, and make sure it looks decently aesthetically pleasing. And then we can go enjoy it a little bit. So power steering, leak, change the oil, just that kind of simple stuff, and then figure out the tuning situation. So let's do it. All right, well, I'm probably gonna swap the trunk out. This one's unpainted, it doesn't match, but that one has no wing on it. But I think I like the wingless better. It's pretty easy to swap. It's only 4 bolts right here. It doesn't stay up. It's missing the struts of some sort, but I also want to clean out the trunk because there's a bunch of junk that we don't need back here. Cover the battery, all kinds of good stuff. So let's get all this stuff out of here. There was speakers back here at one point, and it looks terrible. All right, well, I got the trunk open. I'm pulling out the sub wiring. Don't need all that. There's a ground right here. There's also a ground right here. Neither connect to anything, and they're both to right there. And then this is all like sub wiring. Doesn't need to be in there. Doesn't need to be in there. Some junk sub wiring. It's pretty clean in here. Only like a little bit of pitting, just a little bit. So not too bad. I also want to replace that strut bar that back there. I don't like that. I just want to pull it off and get the stickers off of there because they're like some weird anime stuff that not a fan of it. So now pull this out and then get onto the interior. Got some spare parts. Also, I don't want these. If anybody would like to buy them for an S14, hit me up. All right, well, to me personally, this looks a lot better. The more OEM clean look, it just fits nicely, pretty close to nicely. Needs a little bit of touch up still, but fits better. It doesn't have the window trim. It doesn't have the back trim unnecessarily. And once we get the hood to fit and color match that thing, we are freaking in business. This thing's gonna look mint. I love the way that the wheels look on here, and this thing's just gonna be such a good car. So no more trunk with the wing. I mean, it's only right there. Could always go back on if we're ever feeling it, but I do like the Nissan logo on here. Taillights look good. Just a all around good looking car. The key might be different. 99% chance. Well, actually, this might be the OEM trunk, but it doesn't fit perfect. I don't know if that's like just not closing enough, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I'm trying to make the hood fit here, so I cut a bunch of the inner structure out, lightening up the car, you know, 240 things. And now I put a bunch of just some grease all over where I think it's hitting. And now we'll close the hood and see where it does hit. I think I should put a dot here too, though, and there, but one more dot, and we should be good to see what might be hitting. All right, so I got the hood to fit, and it's pretty good. The sides up here are a little questionable, but I think that's more in the fender. But super pumped that that fit. I mean, you can't complain about that. The hood fits. It has the OEM trunk back on it. It just needs some fitting still. Make the bumper fit, because the bumper fits. It just needs a little bit of trimming up, and then hopefully I can get this stuff painted a little bit. And next I'm gonna pull out the seats because they are dirty. The seats are like, they just need to be washed. So I'm gonna just spray them down with purple power and wash them because they're a little gross looking. Hit this with a little bit of paint just to make it look all black. Just kind of wrapped off some spots and it came out pretty good. I used a little bit of Scotch-Brite and kind of just got this. Just cleaned up all the oxidation off of this. I took the catch can off, I took the overflow off, I took the intake off, painted the intake, screwed down the fuse box so it's actually not just flopping around anymore. Inside, I took out all the interior. Well, not all the interior, clearly. But took out the back seats and the driver and passenger seat, washed them down, and they are smelling a lot better. The interior smells a lot better already. It kind of had this like BO smell to it that I didn't really like. Like, not like, smelled like, I don't know. Basically, when I used to do construction, it kind of smelled like that. Like a long day of just, you know, like that kind of dirt and grime. But you guys might understand. I don't know. And then the trunk, I put the other trunk on. I realized that the battery cables are both pretty loose. Honestly, I don't even know how this thing was running and driving. And ironically, this is the negative and that's the positive. Yeah. The one that's black is positive. The one that's red is negative. And then look at how the ground is. But thankfully it's just a ground. I took this stuff out because I wanted to figure out what I was going to do back here. It had like some, you know, had like that cushion that was just filling in the spare tire, and I'd almost rather not even have the cushion. And then it had like some like very poorly put on there OEM interior bits that were like here, kind of over the battery, not really great looking. The battery is bolted down nicely, which is good. And that's it. Like, I have the intake I just got to put back on, a couple other wires to zip tie up. Like, it's really not that far from being like what I would say as done as I need to make it. So super pumped about that. This thing is looking so awesome. Seats over here are drying. Oh, the water's running off of them. They should be dry. Maybe tomorrow, maybe take a little bit longer, but I'm not really too worried. They should smell a lot better once we use the super clean and all that. Back seat's drying. Probably not my best way to clean a seat, but it is what it is. Also guys, quick plug for the second channel. I will link it down in the description. We have a second channel where I post more house stuff and that kind of thing. I have the chickens I've been posting about over here, 2 ducks, 8 chickens. This is their door, they can get out. They're not, you know, they're not trapped in this small area. They come in and out all day. And then we got a fish tank over here. No fish in it yet, but plants starting up here. Fish will be down here, just waiting on the plants to start taking just a little bit. Throw some nutrients in here for the plants, and then this thing should be going. But if you guys want to see more of that, the Bogetti Bunch YouTube channel, there should be a good amount of videos on this thing and everything else kind of going around here, fruit trees and stuff. Just trying to make the house more enjoyable, I guess. I don't know, more homesteady. But yeah, if you guys want to check that stuff out, head on over to Bogetti Bunch. Some cool videos over there. All right, well, while the interior dries out in the sun over here, hopefully it dries pretty quickly. There's some different colors going on here. I don't know if somebody tried to spray paint this or something, or sprayed something weird on here like that. I don't know, but whatever. Just gonna let them dry in the sun and then put the seats back in, and this thing should be interior wise getting close. Next step, I got some stuff here. So plastic drop cloths, I got some clear enamel, and I got some gloss black Rust-Oleum along with some other acetone and sandpaper. And we're gonna try to paint this hood because, I'll show you guys. So the hood looks like this. So basically I can't make it any worse. So I'm just gonna sand it down, tape off all the cars, and see if we can make this hood look better. It just looks so bad right now. And let's see. So I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to paint an entire car. So this is my first step. I can't not make this hood look any worse. I can't. It's impossible. All right, well, I'm just doing some painting here and it's coming along a lot better. I probably could have sanded it a lot better, but I don't have an electric sander. So I just kind of gave it a little brush up, cleaned it up as best I could, and it's one solid actual color now. So that's a lot better. It's not going to be beautiful, of course. This car's goal is not to be like perfect, but to at least look somewhat presentable would be great. Now let this coat dry. I did like 2 thick coats. This is my second can of spray paint. I'm just using the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in one, and it's a satin black, or sorry, it's a gloss black. So I'm gonna let that run out a little bit and then hit it with some crystal clear enamel after I, sand it down a little bit again. That's it. I don't really know how to paint things, so we're just kind of sending it. All right, now I went out and got some 1000 grit and 2000 grit sandpaper, and it's time to wet sand this thing. So got a bucket with some soap and water in it, and we'll try to get some of this orange peel out, see if we can fix that, and then spray some clear on it. All right, it looks a lot better, but I will tell you, painting is tough. So I accidentally touched my hand on here while I was sanding it, and then I accidentally put a rag on here for a second, and now it's got some marks. So I haven't used the clear yet, but I may try again on the black, but I think I'm pretty happy with it thus far. Just gonna keep kind of cleaning it up and then have at it with some clear coat. But I honestly am really happy with how this paint looks. It looks honestly like 10 times better than it did, and this is a good learning experience for me. So painting with spray paint, painting a car with spray paint, bad idea, but here we are. All right, clear coat is on. Now time to leave this to set overnight. I can already tell it's not going to be beautiful, but this is my first attempt at this, so I'm okay with it. It is what it is. I'm excited to learn painting a little better. If I really like this, I'll probably end up buying some equipment because I would like to paint some cars in here. I would probably need to set up a better setup here, but I think we could do some better painting in here. But well, I came back and it was dry, so I decided to wet sand it, and it's starting to look pretty good. I'm gonna hit it with 2000 grit right now. I just hit it with the 1000, and it's starting to look pretty good. It's like almost shining. I put the badge on there to see what it'll look like, and honestly, it looks pretty good. There's some blemishes, like right here. It got a little thick, or maybe I didn't sand it well enough to start, like right there. And yeah, that kind of stuff. But I'm probably just gonna hit this with 1000 grit or 2000 grit now. That was the least grit I could find, or most grit, I guess you could say, that I could find at the store local. So I'm gonna hit this and then clean it up one more time, and this thing should be ready to pull the tape off and see how the hood matches the rest of the car. Obviously it's not gonna be perfect, but close enough is good for, I think I have like maybe $65 into this. A lot of that spray paint I didn't use, and it's just to keep on hand because I like to keep that on hand because you never know when you need to paint like a bracket or something, but that's aside from the point. So one more hit with the sander and see how this thing looks. I'll say it, I failed miserably to paint this. Yeah, it's cooked. Maybe if I get like some ceramic coat. I mean, it looks like okay when you're close to it, like it's all, no, it's not. None of that is a factual statement. All of that was a lie. But the rest of the paint doesn't exactly look good. So like if you look here, like it is reflective, but it's like orange peel and like kind of wavy and pretty bad. So we're kind of on par with the rest of the car, I guess. And it looks way better than what it was. All right, well, the engine bay is pretty done. I put some stop leak in the power steering to see if that helps. A little bit of paint there, paint on that guy, move the catch can down there instead of just like awkwardly up here, because I hated that location. I think the other 240 actually uses that same location for like the same style catch can. The overflow I moved, and I'm changing that up. It did not need that gigantic weird overflow like that, because it wasn't an expansion tank, it was just an overflow, so didn't need that. But looks pretty good. And then I did a little waxing on the hood, and it actually looks a lot better. So this is like 10 times better than how it looked before. Honestly, like the whole car is pretty beat up. Like look at the bumper. So the hood kind of matches, and it closes fully now. So we got the hood to close and match. It's at least black, and then we got the trunk to close and match and fits nicely. So now we just got to put the interior back in and put some bolts in the dash that are missing, change the steering wheel out, and this thing is almost like ready. There's just like a little couple odds and ends, but so freaking close. This thing's gonna be a good car once it's done, and it's not gonna like kind of be just like weird. I didn't really like how some of the stuff was done. Yeah, so put it back together and drive it a little bit and see if there's anything cool to trade, because I think this 240 will be a very, very interesting trade-off for that some people out there will really want, because this is like a good, cool, potential street 240 that somebody could really go out and enjoy and have a lot of fun with, modify, turbo at some point. There's plenty of room in the engine bay, drift it a little bit, but also street drive it. Like, it has a lot of potential for someone. So this will be a good trade. Once it's done, I'm gonna enjoy it a little bit, and if anybody has a good trade for me, preferably a drag car chassis, that would be the goal, even if it's just a roller or running driving car. But trade for a drag car would be the goal. But that's where we're at, so see how it works out tomorrow. Put a new oil filter on it and checking the old one, and it's pretty good, pretty much clean, nothing really crazy in there. So pop the new one on, put some fresh oil in it, and call it a day. So I posted on Facebook about the CD09 CD01 debate, and some people are saying it could still be a CD09. You guys tell me. Oh, right there it says CDO #1. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's a CD09, CD01? Does that mean, I don't know. I'd hate to sell it not knowing what it is, or get, like, you know, tell anybody the wrong thing. So let me know. All right, pop some Pennzoil in there. Pennzoil at you, renew my contract, pay me for another year so I can keep using your oil. Hit me up, you know my email. All right, well, the car is pretty done right now. I am happy with it. It's got some nice nice-ish paint on the hood. The hood fits, matches. Just drove it up to the driveway, everything felt good. Gave it a quick rinse off. I don't know why I didn't film it. I put the camera next to me and then didn't film it, like all good YouTubers, I guess. But car looks super awesome. Really pumped with it. The seats are just drying the rest of the way, and then they'll go back in. But look at how good this thing looks. I'll put some of the photos that I just took of it in there. But now the real question is, what's next? I love the challenge of like making these cars just, you know, a little bit better, doing some work on them, and then like moving on. Like I don't need this car, but it's pretty awesome. I don't know, it's hard to say. We'll figure something out, but that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Keep it saucy. I'll see you next time.